So you're thinking about moving to the Fort Worth area? Well, in this video, we are going to take a look at Fort Worth versus Aledo, more specifically, two master plan communities. I'm talking Walsh versus Morningstar. And if you stick around to the end, we are going to compare them and go head to head to see which one is better.
And if this is your first time to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to be the first to know what's happening in the Texas real estate market, go ahead and hit that bell.
Welcome to the channel. My name is Tom Jung.
And I'm Jack Lisenby.
And we are local Dallas-Fort Worth real estate agents. If you are looking to buy or sell, we would love to hear from you. We get phone calls every day from folks just like you, whether you're a few days or a few months out. So please don't hesitate to give us a call, shoot us a text, drop us an email, or click the link in our YouTube banner to schedule a Zoom call. So today we are talking about two master plan communities. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, these are really cool.
Yeah, both have a lot going for them. But I think the main draw to this is the schools.
Yep.
This is both of these master plan communities were built. They're both on the west side of Fort Worth, and the schools are a big draw. And so we're gonna get into it as we go. Yeah, anything you want to add to that before we jump in?
Hey, don't forget to comment, because at the end we're gonna go head to head with these and figure out which one might be best for you.
Yeah, let us know which one you think is better.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about everything from the amenities to the schools to the types of houses, the pricing, the taxes, all of that kind of stuff. So hopefully this will give you a good idea of whether one of these might be right for you, and hopefully, even if neither one is right for you, you can tell us which one's better. So
yeah, maybe you got a friend and you can tell them which one's right for them.
There you go. So you want to start off with the locations?
Yeah, so actually these are both right next to each other, so it's going to make location easy on us.
Oh, I said that, and then I wrote down all the times, and I didn't give them to you.
Oh, no, you're good. But the so oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So Morningside and Walsh Ranch are, like I said, right next to each other, right off of Highway 820, just to the west of Fort Worth, but not so far out as like Weatherford or anything like that. It's maybe 20 minutes from downtown. You got a 5-minute drive to the local Brookshire, 22 minutes if you're trying to make it to Weatherford if you keep heading west off of the 20, and it's only about 35 minutes to the airport, which we were both actually really surprised by that, because I know the traffic over there can get a little crazy, but it feels like you're going slower. And then it's only about 10 to 15 minutes from whatever HS stands for.
The high school.
High school.
Yeah, and the
oh yeah, Aledo High School. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So it's only about 15 minutes from Aledo High School, which is right in dead center in Aledo.
And if you're not from here and you're not sure what Brookshire's is, it's a grocery store. So that was why that was thrown in there. Cool. All right. I'm going to talk about Morningstar first. I'm taking on the Aledo neighborhood of Morningstar. So technically this one's Aledo, technically Walsh is Fort Worth. So first off, we'll just run through the schools real quick. So Aledo is known for having great schools. So if you have kids, definitely a great place to be. Public schools, that is. I don't even know if they have charter schools in Aledo. It's like we don't even need them because Aledo's so good.
They probably do, but they've got some stiff competition.
Yeah. So elementary school, McCall Elementary School is A-rated. Awesome. Great job, guys. And McAnally? Intermediate school, just for your 6th graders, is A-rated. Aledo Middle School is 7th to 8th grade, and it is also A-rated. There is a Don R. Daniel 9th grade campus. It's unrated. And then you have, which is like, it literally sits next to the high school. And then Aledo High School is A- on the rating. So like I said before, I think, B is like average for schools. Aledo's crushing it with A's across the board, so can't go wrong there. And amenities, let's see here. There's a lot more than I thought. There's a lot of amenities. I've been through there and I knew about most of these, but there are a couple I didn't know about. So number one, you've got 3.5 miles of hiking and biking trails. So if you're an outdoor enthusiast, there's plenty of room to stretch your legs. And they also have open green spaces if you want to, go do things in open green spaces, picnics, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Flying a kite. They have a volleyball park, which is very cool. They have an entertainment venue. So this is if you want to hold a function there, or just get together. They've got, I think it's 2 spaces inside of this, and you can, yeah, I've seen like graduation parties set up there and other things. So there's a lot you can do with that space. Then you have 2 oversized pools. You have a splash pad, playground, soccer field, basketball court, outdoor grills, stocked ponds for fishing. Hey, that's cool. A dog park and a community garden. So you can go grow your own food, all that kind of stuff. That wraps it up. Those are my 13 amenities for Morningstar. So
I was going to say that stock pond might actually be like a selling point for some people. Like,
that's pretty cool.
Here in Texas, I can imagine somebody, if they're on the fence, they'd be like, I'm going with the one that has the fish.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's talk about housing. So the housing in Morningstar, they started building this community back in 2016. A lot of these homes from, like, if you are looking at the smaller homes, they're going to be from about 1,800 to 2,200 square feet. And those you can get from about 370 to 450, depending on the year that they were built and the finish outs, all that kind of stuff. If you are looking for something a little bit bigger, there are a lot of homes in there for between 2,500 and 3,000 square feet. And most of these are going to be between 425,000 and 650,000. Again, depending on the size and the finish out. There are a few homes that are bigger than that 3,000 square feet if you do need something bigger. And there are a few that are priced a little bit higher than the 650. But for the most part, those are your 2 ranges as far as the prices go. Like that's going to sum up most of what's in there, and they're all single family homes. That's about it as far as options go. HOA dues here are currently about $1,000 a year. I think it's $1,065 to be exact. And if you are looking at new homes, so there are still a bunch of active inventory homes going up, builders that are building. So if you are looking for something new, that is definitely an option here. There are 3 builders that are building in this community. You have Riverside Home Builders and Impression Homes. Now, in my opinion, Riverside and Impression are very similar. They're going to have like your apartment grade cabinets, your regular size doors, 10-foot ceilings, and it's really going to come down to, for the most part, I would think probably the floor plan that fits you best, right? So, and they are going to be building, I think Riverside builds the majority of the new homes in there right now. And then Impression has a few. And then also you have Highland Homes that builds in here. So Highland is more of they're kind of an oddity. They're almost a luxury production builder, if you will. And so what you're going to find with the Highland Homes, it's going to be very obvious to see when you compare one house to the other, but Highland Homes are going to have like taller baseboards, they're going to have taller windows, they're going to have custom cabinets, 12-foot ceilings, and 8-foot doors. So if you see, if you look at those versus the other homes, you're going to see, hey, these just look way more grand, and you're going to pay for that. So, but those are going to be your primary differences in the builders if you are looking to go new there. But apart from that, that pretty much sums it up. It is a great family community, just like most communities in Aledo. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you made it sound like you're gonna pay for that, like it's a threat. But hold on to your pockets, ladies and gentlemen, because we're about to go on a long journey over to Walsh, and by long journey I mean it's like literally only half a mile up the road. If you head west from Morningstar up I-20 there towards Fort Worth, you're gonna see Walsh Ranch there on your left, and it's, again, another huge, beautiful master plan community. So they started planning this thing back in the 2000s, but they didn't break ground until around like 2016, 2017, and they had houses ready to go by 2018. These guys have been this vision has been in the works for literally decades at this point, and it shows because the number of builders that they have in collaboration out there's like over 8 builders, and they've all come together to create a beautiful community with a ton of different amenities. So whenever you're actually looking at Walsh, the tax rate is slightly higher. So it's Aledo ISD, but it's legally in Fort Worth. And the reason for that higher tax rate is because they are part of a public improvement district, or
Yeah, that's
residential
right.
improvement district, something like that.
Public improvement
Public
district.
improvement district. Basically, they had to contract out somebody to put the utilities in there since it is so far away from Fort Worth. But it's a one-time thing. Once you pay it off, you don't really have to worry about it anymore. That being said, Walsh has a ton going for it, and it's not just the amenities. Walsh itself does a great job of taking care of the people that live there as well as the community itself. Walsh HOA is very hands-on, not super invasive. They have you pay about $160 to $250 a month depending on the size of your house and where you're located in the community, and it comes with everything from like the maintenance of your grounds to white glove trash service. You get the free use of all the facilities there, and there are plenty to use, as well as guest privileges. But it's also it's still growing. They're still building out there. The community is still expanding, and the people are as well, because it's new. It's time to get to know your neighbor, because a lot of people are setting up shop there for like forever homes. But oddly enough, I did see some used houses listed in that area. Which I thought was weird. It's only been around a few years, but like I guess we are reaching that point where people have started, like, if you are going to sell, they're going to start looking at moving. But anyway, so the builders that actually ended up putting this community together, we've got the major ones. We've got David Weekley Homes, which is more of your production style builder. They make a good house, but it just doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles. So if you just need 4 walls and a door, these are the guys that you want to hit up.
Their product in here is a little nicer.
In here?
Yeah, they have 2 different versions. They have like a cottage version and then one on a larger lot. Yeah,
I'm crazy. Yeah, no. So some of these actually, one of the ones that we're gonna actually have some photos up here on screen, hopefully, I believe is actually one of the David Weekley homes. It's still really nice. Like, don't get me wrong, this is a $600,000 house. It's when I say it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, I'm talking compared to some of these other builders, because we've got like he had noted before, Highland Homes, one of my personal favorites. My mom used to show for them all the time because she was a real estate agent, so I'm a little biased, but it is a very nice product. We've also got Perry Homes, which is a phenomenal builder that we have out here in Fort Worth. We've got Toll Brothers, Village Homes, High Street Homes, and then Drees Custom Homes. And then we've got a couple of smaller builders that have only got like 1 or 2 products in the neighborhood, but they still build. We've got Britton Homes and GFO Home. You may see a couple of theirs throughout the neighborhoods as well. As far as schools go, it's going to be the exact same as Morningside, since they are literally like right next to each other. So you've got the Walsh Elementary is the only change here, and that one is A rated. You've got the McAnally Intermediate School, Aledo Middle School, Daniel 9th grade campus, and Aledo High School for the rest of them. Now, as far as amenities go, this is where this area really shines. Aside from its natural beauty, you've also got a amphitheater park and imagination playground, they like to call it. It's really just a playground for the kids. They've got
for them to use their imagination on.
I mean, they can use their imagination on the street. It doesn't really matter.
It's a cardboard box.
It makes it sound way more grand than it is. It's a playground.
All
it's a
right.
nice one though. You've got a 10,000 plus square foot fitness center with all sorts of. I thought this was really interesting. So everything in there is very luxury looking, and they actually shied away from a lot of the machines that you see in fitness centers to sort of push people towards free weights. And honestly, I think that's a great idea. I don't want to go too deep down a rabbit hole, but it's better for bone density to use more natural resistances. So they've also got a resort. They've got 2 pools. So they've got a resort pool, which is more like your recreational style pool, and then they've also got a junior Olympic lap pool, which is like the big square ones you see with the lines and everything. So if you need to practice, they've got a spot that you can do all
for that triathlon.
Yeah, you want to be in the next Olympian underwater, by all means. They've also got parks. They've got parks littered throughout this place. I think they actually said in their master plan that no more than a fourth or a third of the, or no less than a fourth or a third of Walsh Ranch will be green space. So
it is disgusting how many parks they have.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Like you don't even have to go to the neighbor's house to find the park. You just
barely have to walk to get there.
You basically have your own. You've also got 24 miles of biking and hiking trails throughout Walsh Ranch and around it as well. So if you're an outdoorsy type, it's a phenomenal place. You've got sports courts, so you've got tennis courts, basketball courts. I think they have like a volleyball something or another on one of them. I'm not exactly sure on that.
Tennis. They have tennis. They do have volleyball.
Yeah.
Tennis. Yeah.
And then I think these two are the really big selling points here for the amenities. So the entirety of Walsh Ranch was built on the groundwork for Google Fiber, which means that internet inside of Walsh Ranch is up to 2 gigabit per second. So your transfer speeds are twice as high as the cap for the standard everywhere else in Fort Worth. So you're doing pretty good. So if you work remotely, or especially if you do like telehealth or things that require very immediate response time while working from home, this is the place that you want to be. That being said, if you don't work from home but you don't want to go all the way to work, they've also got something called a makerspace. And I know you're looking at me like, Jack, you're just makerspacing up words right now, because that's not a thing. But it is, and what it is it's a bunch of different shops. So if you do woodworking or sewing or like digital fabrication, they've got all sorts of things like CNC machines, lathes, looms, a bunch of different things all inside like this segmented workshop kind of thing. And I know a lot of you guys may have kids that you want to tag along. They've also got a little area filled with Legos and a bunch of other small little engineering hands-on things that the kids can do while you're over there utilizing the shop for whatever. And I think that's really cool, because that's all free to use if you're a part of the HOA. And that's a huge selling point. We've got a lot of people who are looking for shops to set up stuff like that on their own property, but if you just have it built into your neighborhood, why not?
That's awesome.
And now the most important part, obviously, what are the houses like? Well, there's a couple of different options here. We've got single-family residences as well as townhomes, and the townhomes are going to run you about $400,000 to $500,000 in those ranges. They're about 17 to 2,500 square feet, depending on what kind of floor plan you have. They have 2 and 3-story options, if I'm not mistaken, but they're all 3 to 4 bedroom, 3 to 4 bathroom. Pretty standard as far as townhouses go. I will say, if you are looking at the townhouses, the HOA fees are slightly higher, since you have the shared walls and you have to worry about higher insurance risk with a shared property like that. HOA dues are going to be $350 a month as opposed to the $160 to $250.
And they typically cover the exterior, right?
Correct.
The insurance does.
Yeah. So the
HOA will have
higher risk for the HOA, not for, because it's baked into your HOA cost. I apologize. Good call. And then if you're looking at a single family house, because maybe you don't want to share a wall with somebody, the lowest you're going to be able to find is $500,000. But where you really need to start looking is around the $700,000 to $800,000 mark. That's where the vast majority of your inventory is going to be in this neighborhood. But like I said, they range from $500,000. I saw some of them all the way up to like almost $2 million. There's probably some a little more expensive. But most are going to be between 2,000 up to like 3,200 square feet. They have some floor plans that go all the way up to like 49 to 5,000 square feet. So really, sky's the limit. They're all going to be 3 to 5 bath, 3 to 5 bed. You've got smaller lot sizes. They're going to be 0.15 to 0.25 acres. So that's a pretty standard lot size. But when you get a big enough house on it, it starts to feel a little cramped. And if you're a car nut, you're going to love this, because I found they have some houses out there with 5-car garages.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was an $890,000 house that had a 5-car garage.
It's not bad for a 5-car
garage. I know.
House.
I was going to say, like, if all you care about is your wheels, that's the way to go. But most are going to be 2 or 3-car garages. There's actually a lot of these houses have 3-car garages. So I would say that's almost the standard option.
Yeah. Great community.
Mm-hmm.
Just absolutely. The planning that went into this is pretty incredible. And then also like the elevations on the homes out there are just, I think they're all very nice.
Yeah. They look great.
Yeah, you compare that to like your standard DR Horton neighborhood where everything's like kind of cookie cutter. Yeah. It's nice. And the other thing like you'll see out there too is like the amphitheater and imagination park or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's a big pond right there that you can go fishing at. They've got you can go kayaking on, and a lot of times like in the evenings people roll up in their golf carts and everybody like gets out and hangs out at the park. So that's pretty neat. So I don't know, I'm talking up your neighborhood.
Give them the ammunition for this next section.
Since we've made it to the end of the video here, we are going to compare neighborhoods. So I've got a list of categories here that we'll go down. Location. So Morningstar is probably 5 minutes further from downtown Fort Worth, but honestly, they're pretty similar.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's not a lie whenever I say these things are right next to each other. It's almost like Lowe's and Home Depot. You see one of them building on one side of the highway, the other one's going to get mad and start building on the other side.
Yeah. Community. I think both of them have a lot of community events. I think Walsh has a few more just because of the size of Walsh. Walsh is, probably bigger than Morningstar at this point.
So
it's definitely going to be in the end.
Looking at the Google Map view, it's maybe like a third larger overall, but I know a lot of it is just the way it's shaped as well.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, Walsh should be bigger. I'm sure they'll have more events, but maybe a tie right now. I don't know.
We'll mark that one off as a tie. Start off easy.
Half point for Walsh, maybe. Schools, obviously a tie.
Again,
very similar.
Well, okay. I will say, I think we edged that one out because we have our own elementary school, which is A-rated.
I guess it is right there in the community, so maybe you get a point for that.
I'll say half point.
Half point, right?
Half point for Walsh.
Maybe. Amenities. So I had 13. You only had, 8, 9 on your list?
Yeah, so there's 8 here, but some of these are conglomerate. Like the athletic club has amenities inside it as well.
That's true. We didn't have a gym. We didn't have a tennis court.
Yeah.
You also have fishing.
You have
didn't
sports
put on
courts.
there.
I know they have. What?
We have there's basketball.
Basketball.
There might be tennis. I don't think there is, though.
I don't think there is.
There's 2 basketball courts.
But I know there's a basketball court, and you said there was a volleyball court as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
but you guys have volleyball, sand volleyball. It's a thing.
I think because so on Morningside, were they also built on the internet, the fiber over there?
I don't think so.
That wasn't one of the things that they advertised, so I didn't know.
That's why I don't think it is.
Because it's right next to it. I figure
it's close, but it's like at the back of Walsh, right? They'd have to run that fiber a lot further.
That's fair.
To get to it.
Maybe.
So amenities, I'm gonna give it to Walsh. Walsh just has more. They have the maker space. There's a guy there that will help you as well. I don't.
Okay,
as far
like
as
a work pro or something.
Yeah. Like if you're using a CNC machine, obviously they don't want somebody drilling their hand
that's
or
fair.
anything crazy. But
I've seen enough lathe videos to know how that ends.
Yeah, not good. Taxes. So this one is interesting. So I think. So I didn't mention this, but Morningstar has a mud. They're in a mud district, so it's a
municipal utility district.
Yeah. So basically, the same thing happened. Both of them got funding to basically build sewers and water treatment out, all that kind of stuff. And so the difference is, I think typically mud taxes last for about 30 years. They won't last longer than that, but I believe the one at Walsh. Like, if you pay the minimum, you can pay it off early, but I think if you pay the minimum, it's not anywhere as close to as much, I think. Not positive.
Yeah, I'd have to do research. I don't know enough about that.
But either way, the tax rate, when you look at everything in total, is about 3% for either one.
Yeah.
Are you at 2.8?
It says 2.8.
Is that including
But that
the
was
PIP?
as of last year, and I know we just had an adjustment come out, so I couldn't tell you what it is for this year.
They're going to be close. All right.
Yeah.
So HOA dues, yours are a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, they are pricey.
You get more with it, though. So Walsh is a little bit more expensive there. I'm going to give a point to Morningstar, keeping it economical. And then housing prices. So this is, this is where it gets real complicated, right? Because the home prices obviously in Morningstar are lower for the most part. Like if you're, for your standard house, but I feel like the product of home that you like, the different products that they have in Walsh are for the most part much nicer.
I would hope so, because these prices in some cases are like twice what they have over there in Morningside.
Yeah. And Morningstar.
Oh my God, Morningstar. Getting confused with our listings.
Yeah. So yeah, and I mean, so Highland builds, I think, a very similar product in both of these neighborhoods, and it's just more expensive in Walsh. So
yeah,
that's
they are upselling.
And then if you want to compare housing options, you're going to have a lot more housing options in Walsh, right? So you have townhome options over there, and then you have at one point I counted and there were 13 builders building in there.
I will say, like, the floor plans over here, like, it's not great for anyone who doesn't want a lot of cleaning, because I think what the smallest floor plan was like 1,700 square foot for one of the townhomes.
Right.
For anything with a house that's a single family, you're looking at least 2,000 square feet. For some people, like if you're living alone or like a small couple, that's a lot to clean by yourself.
That is a lot, yeah. So
it could be a case by case basis with that one.
yeah, but yeah, and I mean, you know, like I'm going down this list, I'm leaning heavily towards Walsh until you hit Price, and then I'm like, I don't know. So anyways, let us know what you think. Let us know which one you think is the better neighborhood to settle down in, and that's all we got for this video.
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in. So as always, if you're looking to buy or sell, remember to keep calm, call Tom.